General. Oh man, we're gonna be talking about, man. I just talked about this triple homicide in Jackson, Mississippi, just yesterday, man. Just heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking that somebody could just be so heartless to unalive two sisters and a child, 25, 30, and I believe the little boy was 5 years old. I believe he was 5. Uh, but the community, obviously there was some tips. They were apprehended. They're not even sure if these two guys, they even, a woman drove the niggas over there to do the shit. So she's also being charged, and to my understanding, I haven't watched the news today. I seen, that they had apprehended them later on after I did the original, video only, and they hadn't even been apprehended, so I didn't know, who was responsible. But these two guys, I don't have their name right now. I don't even fucking care to know their name, but they went over all the reasons, looking at the crime scene and finding out that the guy, that they just shot the little baby. They shot him too. These motherfuckers need to be beheaded. You know what I'm saying? Serious talk. When you doing shit like that, man, I mean, motherfuckers need to deal with these niggas. And anybody connected to them niggas. You feel me? That could be, encouraging this type of activity. I mean, motherfuckers need to be dealt with. And I'm real talk, the energy to get rid of this shit got to even be, and people thinking that they could be humble. You can't be humble with, piece of shits like this. Straight scum, you know what I'm saying? Heartless scum. You can't have no compassion, none whatsoever, on their behalf. Fuck that. Most definitely they deserve capital punishment. Period. There's no getting around that. I don't know if Mississippi got capital punishment or not. But if they do, these niggas should have been, they need to bring back, the firing squad in Mississippi. Oh, but I don't want to overstate that, that it also must be where we know for sure that the individuals you about to put this fire on, that these are, this is the person responsible. I must also, stress that fact because a lot of crimes do get thrown on black people, innocent black people. That's why there's so many exonerations out there, because you got fake police, fake lawyers, fake judges that throw crimes on people, evidence be available to say otherwise who the real suspect is. And so they suppress the information, they create fake evidence just to get a win. Say, oh, it was solved. Motherfuckers still out there killing motherfuckers and shit. And that's how, and this is the criminals in the criminal justice system. But I say that because what I am saying is, if for shit like this, once it's official and no bullshit aside, and no suppressing of information, all the DNA, all the evidence, all the eyewitnesses say that this, you have to put a motherfucker to rest. And they do not deserve, some motherfuckers get a shot where they could just go to sleep, shit like that. And, no. You shouldn't get that privilege. You know what I'm saying? Your motherfucking ass should feel pain all the way to the end. I do believe that. If you do some shit like that, you killing babies and all of that. I mean, But some places they saying, like Idaho, they making it the default form of execution. That means you, no matter if your ass on death row, you going in front of the firing squad. And I heard they give you a mild settlement, but I don't know what that may mean. You know what the fuck do it? Mile ain't gonna stop a motherfucker. They supposed to, but they say they supposed to put it through your heart, you know. And so really, you know, a lot of times your ass could die instantly. You know, that's what they supposed to do. You know, but I don't give a fuck. That's another, you know, you might feel a little something, you know, but if they put your ass on that fire, you know, and they like they used to do the Salem witches and shit and whatever, and they use that method on us illegally and horrifically, but that don't change the fact that it's a method to get the fucking message across that we not gonna be dealing with this bullshit. If you use the method how it's supposed to be used, then you know I don't have no problem with it. I don't, cause I don't. When it comes to touching on the babies and doing all type of shit like that, I'm in firm belief that you could put motherfucker on, set him on fire. I do believe that. That's a form of capital punishment. It is. That was a form of capital punishment for a while. You know, for a while. Yeah, that's what they did. Tie your ass up on there and whoosh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when the motherfucker, you touching them babies and then the motherfucker do shit like that, then you can hear that motherfucker. Ah! And that's what I need to hear. Yeah, motherfucker, that's what your bitch ass get for touching them. You see, you could talk to a motherfucker then. Yeah, it's a lot of people don't, but I believe it's because the world is too wicked. The world too wicked. You got to turn back the hands of time. You feel what I'm saying? This ain't, where, you got to turn, you know what I'm saying? And to turn this motherfucker, because, it's so much wickedness. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You struggling to fucking turn this motherfucker. So it's leaning towards civilization, compassion for your brothers and sisters and the children and the elders. You have to turn this, and so you have to bring that. You have to bring force to get people to comply. You feel what I'm saying? And I do believe that that probably and then you could talk to a motherfucker. When that motherfucker on fire. Yeah, motherfucker, that's what we told y'all, leave them babies alone. Nah, motherfucker, look at your ass. Yeah, and and let this be, and look at the camera and tell the motherfucker, and this gonna be your ass next. If you don't learn the reality that we not gonna be dealing with this shit no more, this could be your ass next. A lot of people might not like that. But I tell you what, unless your ass wanna be a motherfucking rib dunner, you know what I'm saying? Your ass wanna become a barbecue rib dunner, your bitch ass will fall into compliance with law and order. You see? Keep you in all this murdering and the women, the children, and all of that. That got to come to an end. I'm solely with it. I'm solely with it. The brain, this shit, I'm with it. Fuck all that other shit. Set them, giving somebody some shit to go to sleep. No, if the person you took, you brought pain, then pain your ass gonna feel when you going up. I don't feel they should get that privilege. You didn't, you know what I'm saying? You didn't murder somebody in pain, cold blood, shot them and shit, and babies, you need to be set on fire. You know what I'm saying? Or the next thing to the guillotine. But I think the fire is one thing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the guillotine too. But I think the guillotine, I rather, because, that's like, you know what I'm saying? And it's over with. You know what I'm saying? And it's over with. Maybe that be your second, your second choice for something else, But if you didn't murder some babies and some women, nigga, we need to hear your ass holler. Ah. Yeah, and so you could talk to a motherfucker like, you bitch ass motherfucker. This what you get. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that right. They family shit, yeah, you bitch ass motherfucker. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's unfair to let somebody get away like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what do you think? You put your comment in the chat. Make sure y'all click that link down there in the video description. Get over there to General Seti's Patreon. General Seti One Stop. Get them classic DVDs, hard copy, HD. You already know what it is. No AI, no editing, no none of that. Get over there, family. I'll see y'all soon. Black Power.